How you doing? How you doing? And how you doing, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Petty, and I appreciate you stopping by today. And today is a very special day. Not only is today possibly one of the most important days in YouTube history, but your boys had a pretty good day. Not only did we start a brand new job today and crushed it, we also, and just go ahead and check the name of my channel real quick. What's that first thing say? Also, while on my first day of work, got called by my old job that I left in December of last year before deciding to try and work for myself for a little while. And that, they want me back. So your boy's feeling a little bit pretty and petty today, to be 100% honest. But it doesn't stop there. Y'all, we hit, and we gonna get into this before talking about the most important day for YouTube, which is gonna be this video's focus. But we hit 1 million lifetime views on the channel, and I'm fucking blown away. Like, it's awesome, but there is some downsides to something. And honestly, what the takeaway that I want you guys to have from the second part of today's video is that if I can get 1 million views on YouTube, you can too. But we're going to get into some warnings, but that's going to be the second half. We'll dig into all of that. I'm going to show you a little bit of the analytics that I'm allowed to show you, because YouTube gets a little petty themselves if we show too much. But we'll try and get what we can in and talk about that. But really, what we need to focus on right now, because it's not only your boy's big day, okay? It's YouTube's big day too. Today, we got Tim the Tat Man joining the platform with an exclusive streaming deal, and God knows how much the money is actually for. Peep that number down there. See that little 1 and then a few of those zeros? That's 100,000 viewers. This man pulled 100,000 viewers in his first stream on YouTube. Now, we're not here to just say this is the greatest man to ever live. Tim's a really funny dude. I love his content. I wish Warzone didn't fill me with rage. Also, it has no recoil. I like my FPSs to like kind of almost be realistic. Like, the gun should move a little bit when you shoot it, not just it's laser. Anyways, but this is an insanely huge thing for YouTube as a platform itself. It has spent quite some time trying to legitimize itself as a streaming platform, because frankly it didn't have all the tools that the competitors had, but they had their own infrastructure that in some ways better and outperforms Twitch. Like, sometimes YouTube notifications work better than Twitch's. Twitch's barely work at all, so I mean, there's that. That's cool. But this is huge news for the platform. The size of these guys that they have brought in are some of the very largest people from Twitch. It shows a level of investment in the platform for streaming that is the most serious that we've seen from them. And we already have huge creators that are streaming on the platform. Shout out to Valkyrie, last year's content creator of the year. Bro, I watch Valkyrie streams. Like, it's fire. Like, there are amazing people on this platform, and to see them focus and really dial in on focusing on promoting streaming on the platform and pulling big people like this is insane. Is absolutely insane. One of the things that this tells me is that we're going to see insane improvements from YouTube in terms of their streaming platform. You don't go and sign some of the biggest streamers and pay them probably an insane amount of money without having your eye on the ball. There is a plan right now. We are definitely going to see, potentially over the next year, YouTube really step its game up where it's honestly been lacking in terms of streaming, which is pretty crazy, because if you go off of, streaming just by itself, Twitch kills YouTube all day. But if you want to talk daily viewers, YouTube crushes Twitch into the ground. And if YouTube can successfully and honestly back the streaming on their service and make it something that really rivals the other strong competitors out there, We all gonna have a good time. We all gonna have a good time. Also, 100% shout out to this man's goblin face right now. That is the strongest goblin face I've ever seen. And honestly, for me personally, I am going to focus more on streaming on YouTube. I definitely want to see this platform take off and really be able to improve streaming for its creators. I think that is an amazing way to not only reach new viewers, but be able to interact with people. Like, I love replying to comments all day long, and I try to reply to every comment that I possibly can. Being able to stream and have my direct connection to that audience to show up and kind of hang out and just talk with me is amazing. Now, streaming on Twitch is cool. I have met recently some of the most amazing people through Twitch and have been playing with them and absolutely loving it. Like, I am incredibly blessed to have come into the community that I have with some of the small Twitch streamers that I've met. But when I stream on Twitch, like 5 people show up. It would be a much different thing if YouTube did a good enough job on their platform that I had the ability to tap into the subscribers that I have on this platform and be able to interact with them directly more. That's a dream come true. Getting all those same people to try and also then follow me over to Twitch to watch some stuff there, that's not realistic for a lot of people. But what is realistic is one of my 5,000 some subscribers seeing that I'm live, popping in, be like, oh, hey, what's up, Patty? That will fuel me and make me a happy little man for weeks. You know the joke of just tell a man pretty and he will remember it the rest of his life? He will. He will. I will. Come tell me I'm pretty. Please. Let's go ahead and get into the thing that is obviously a little bit more hype for me, and I'm not gonna lie, I think it's kind of awesome that not only on what I think is probably YouTube's biggest day in a very long time, it's also my big day. I feel like we're sharing that together, and that's just beautiful. So I want to go ahead and take a look at that view timeline and talk about some of the things that I've learned and I've experienced on the platform. Because again, like I said at the beginning of the video, if my dopey self can get 1 million views on this platform, you can definitely get 1 million views on this platform. And I want to give you guys all of the lessons that I have learned. Also, just a fair warning, no matter how you think this is about to look, it's probably not what you expect. Also, YouTube, please don't be mad at me, Daddy. I just want to talk about this. I'm not showing them all the analytics or the things that you get really upset about. It's just, you know, people show their little subscriber thing from analytics all the time. All the time. That's part of like 60% of the platforms like thing now. That'll just pop up towards the beginning of their video so that they don't got to try and plug themselves. You know it's a thing, you know? So we know that we can selectively show analytics, right? We ain't gonna get mad at Petty. Please don't get mad at Petty. But let's go ahead and get an actual look at it. Yeah. Let's talk about this, because I think at 1 million views, it's a good time for us to show this and kind of talk about our YouTube journey and what it has been like. Because again, I think a lot of you guys can do exactly what I'm doing now and probably worlds better. So I highly encourage you to do it. But let's go ahead and just take a look at and try to make sense of this. Alright, so as a wee lad on YouTube, we started out with Raid Shadow Legends, and we did that for our first couple of months, as you can see here. In February, we got into the beta for a game called Dragon Raja, and, you know, fell in love with it, and even though it had some major issues, decided to switch most of my content to that, because one of the amazing things about getting into a beta program with a YouTube channel is all of those videos you make essentially explaining things in the game or doing guides. When that game actually launches, they're gonna do some numbers, or at least they have the likelihood to do some numbers. And that's what you can see here. We started picking up some steam, boy, and we were holding that steam. We held that steam for months. 4 months. Some of you might be asking, Patty, what's up with that big chunk right there, boy? What happened right there? That was pretty crazy and had literally almost nothing to do with me whatsoever. So the game that we covered through this whole period here essentially launched in another region. And overnight, several countries worth of people that were not looking for information on this game were suddenly looking for information on this game. And we had a huge boom. But this big old pretty jump kind of leads me into one of my next things, that the YouTube algorithm giveth and then can taketh away pretty hard. So one of the things that I experienced, and other creators will know, like, you usually get a pretty good feel for your top 10 last videos, or actually just your last 10 videos, and the way that that normally has its own ebb and flow. Well, we ran into some issues. So not only had we already stopped covering this game that got us this huge boom, we had already started trying to move on to other things because of the multitude of issues that we had with the game and the way that they were being incredibly predatory and failing to deliver a just good product in general. So once all of the players from this new region got all of the information that I had available for this game, a couple of things happened. A, they got the information. They weren't watching the videos anymore. And the views drop. And for a month, YouTube was just telling me every day, like, yo, bro, you were just down so many views right now. I don't know what happened, but you're just down all of the views. What this led to, and you can see from all of this right here, is essentially that the views on my channel just kept getting turned down and down and down because the YouTube algorithm saw this declining viewership and started pushing out my videos less. So now, instead of doing as good as I was before this huge spike of viewers came in, we started seeing a big downtrend. And then Genshin Impact happened. We got into the beta for Genshin Impact. We were in CBT 2, and it was amazing. And I absolutely loved the game, and I really stand for it. And more than anything, I believed in the potential that Genshin Impact had, and, you know, really wanted to see what their product was when they launched. Like, we were all for the channel. We made a bunch of guides. We still get views on some of the guides for Genshin Impact to this day. In fact, I think I have a Noel guide that is consistently one of the things in my top views for the last 28 days. So you guys might now be rightfully wondering, well, hey bro, what's this second big old spike? Well, that was when we did a response video to Mtash. He made a bit of a meme by making a I'm quitting Genshin video, and then in hindsight went on to make Genshin content for like the next 8 months because that's what was pulling in views for him. But we made a response video, and in the video we don't, like, you know, try to trash his character. What we try to do in that video is give a lot of perspective on gacha games, because we've been playing gacha games for a very long time, and it was very obvious that this was Mtash's first gacha game, and so I felt obligated to weigh in on that. And because it was a response video, which will get recommended after that people watch the original video itself, and because it was against Mtash, who is a very much larger YouTuber than me, this video caught fire, and I had panic attacks for like 3 days straight, and just like, oh my god, no, that's too many views, it's too many views, it's ain't that deep. And this had an explosive view count for my channel, for where it had been, you know, kind of since we had Dragon Raja launch in the Southeast Asian area, and we had all of these new countries coming in and watching the content. We had a huge spike from the Mtash video. And then you can probably guess where this is going after that, because after that, we suffered the same problem we did from the initial giant spike, and we saw the same thing happen, and we started seeing our content pushed out less and less. Now, obviously, we had a lot of issues with Genshin develop over this period, and instead I decided to focus my channel on checking out new mobile games and trying to essentially look out for the community, tell them about the things to be careful of, what to look out for, what in these games might be traps, and somewhere about this region, we went ahead and decided that we were just going to do what we wanted to do on YouTube. We were going to cover mobile games in such a way that we were honest, that we were giving people good information and trying to look out for the community, because when it comes to mobile gaming, this community can sometimes suck. There's dudes out there that entire shticks are like, hey, come watch me spend $1,000 on this game. And that's it. That's it. Now, there's plenty of big guys out there that do absolutely amazing jobs, and they're the closest thing that we even have to having actual journalism following mobile gaming, which I think is very, very important, because again, it is a space in which so many people can get taken advantage of. And the whole point of the channel is to entertain people and also help them in some kind of way. Like, that's a lot of what drives us as a person. That is a lot of what drives us behind making mobile content, because again, a lot of these guys, their whole shtick is to just spend thousands of dollars on the game. And unfortunately, that gets them a lot of mobile views, which then makes them 50 to 100 grand, and then they can just keep dumping money into these games, and it becomes really, really ridiculous. So in my opinion, the mobile gaming space on YouTube is a potentially very toxic environment, and that is why we have always strived to try and give people good information and warn them about the things that they need to be aware of if they want to make informed decisions in these games, in whether regards they spend a lot, spend a little, or don't spend at all. It's important for all of those players to understand the systems at play and the things that govern them, so they are better able to make decisions as consumers. And as you can see, that ain't exactly panned out for me. That is, it has been a long grind to go ahead and reach this 1 million. And honestly, where I want to leave off with this is that if you guys are thinking about making content, if you want to do something on YouTube, think really hard about it. Is it something that you are going to be able to focus on and do, and really pick a thing and stick with that? Because as you can see, Remya, you can get pretty punished by changing what you're doing on YouTube and using the platform as you want, because the algorithm works in very specific but mysterious ways. And it's very easy to end up in a situation like I have, where I'm essentially punishing myself, like by not sticking to the books and only covering or doing content that has been really big for me before. And this entire time, yeah, we've never done another response video to a big YouTuber. That's not where we want to get our views from. And that's in the video itself, we said that we didn't want to get really views for it. But you know, it's the algorithm. It does what it wants. But I would really, really, really recommend that you guys, when you go to try and start a YouTube, that you pick something that is going to give you the ability to cover it and do it for a long period of time without getting burnt out. And in a lot of ways, I think that YouTube gaming is especially difficult to have that success on, because when you move games, YouTube doesn't go back and tell the people that, like, oh, hey, I know that you played this game and all of these tags for this game are in your search history that we have, so we'll recommend you this. Oh, but he's covering a new game now, and none of the search history tags that we have for you make the algorithm think that you're going to watch this, so we're just not going to tell you about it. And that is largely what my experience has been. I have 5,723 subscribers, and maybe 100 or 2 of you get notifications when I post videos. And this is not only a celebratory, we've hit 1 million views on YouTube, because it is. I am very, very excited with that. But with the knowledge that I've gotten in this 1 million views, I want to pass the information on to you guys that the algorithm can be very punishing. So you very much want to try and pick something that you will be able to stick to, because it can potentially do for you very well. But changing around, doing a lot of different games or stuff like that is not going to do you any favors. Now, I'm going to stick it out. I'm going to keep doing this and changing what I feel I need to when I need to. I definitely feel like we are coming up on another one of those points soon, and that I'm going to want to shift gears and try some other stuff with YouTube. I also want to try some other channels that are going to be more dedicated and not even gaming related. I personally definitely want to try and start a couple of channels where they're set up more like shows, so it is much easier for people to come in, find the channel, binge a bunch of it. A bunch of people aren't going to go back and watch old mobile gaming news videos. The guides and stuff like that will still get decent views on them, but like, oh, hey, this game came out this week, let's check it out. That's probably not going to get a lot of long-term views. And the more things on your channel that people can just click and watch from one video to the next, I think the more likely you are to avoid what I ran into with my first million views. And I hope we're going to get another million views. That's 100% the goal, and we're going to keep pushing towards that. But I think you guys can do this too. I think you guys can learn some of the lessons of what I did and have a much easier time. And again, honestly, from the very bottom of my heart, if I can get 1 million views on this platform, you can get 1 million views. And you can hopefully avoid a lot of the mistakes that I have made along the way. And to be honest, if YouTube was just a little bit more straightforward with how the algorithm worked, it would be insanely helpful. But at the same time, you have people that are, you know, dishonest and cheaters. If there was a roadmap of, hey, this is exactly how the algorithm works, people would 100% try to game that system as much as they could. So I understand why we don't have the hard details of how this actually works. But as someone that has almost been punished several times now over the randomness of the algorithm, I wish we had better information. YouTube gaming, get your stuff together with streaming, and then you really see what you can do for small creators to give us a little bit more, because hey, your algorithm can bully the hell out of us down here. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. But thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for helping me reach 1 million views on YouTube, which in and of itself is crazy to say. Even though we don't have a super amazing, impressive graph to show for it, it is still something that is so deeply humbling and just amazing that I really have to say thank you. I appreciate it. Anyone that's come and shown any support for the channel at any time during all of this mess, I appreciate you. I love you, and I hope you're doing good. And we're gonna try to get another million. That's really all we can say. All we can say. But thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I'm really excited for the future of YouTube, with them not only picking up Tim the Tap Man and really focusing on their live streaming platform, but at the same day, boy reached 1 mil. 1 mil. Like Ludwig says, bigger number, better person. 100% fact. But alright guys, we're going to go ahead and call it there. I appreciate you so very much. And you're going to have to catch your boy in the next one, because we out of here. Deuces.